following is a WVVA Sports Special.
Hello and welcome to the high school football game of the week. This week, the Bluefield Beavers take on the Mount View Golden Knights at Mount View. This week's game is brought to you in part by Ramey Chevrolet, steering you straight. By Hardee's Restaurants, where we're out to win you over. And by Mullins Ford, your four-wheel drive headquarters in Richlands, Virginia.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to the high school football game of the week here on WVVA TV. Tonight from Welch, McDowell County. It's the battle between Mercer County and McDowell County as the Mount View Golden Knights host the Bluefield Beavers. Our color commentator tonight comes from Mullins High School. He's no stranger to the area, Kevin Grog. And Kevin, certainly a pleasure having you on the high school game of the week.
Well, I'm sure glad to be here.
The matchup between the two teams, before we do get to that, let's talk about homecoming, where that's got to be some extra incentive for the Mount View Golden Knights.
It sure is. Mount View has a lot of fans here, a lot of alumni, and they're going to play hard tonight.
What is it like playing in a homecoming game? I know you've been there several times before. It seems to pump the teams up just a bit.
It sure does. That takes some added pressure off the coaches, getting the kids pumped up. They know that all the fans are here and everybody in the community's here to see them, and they're going to be ready to play.
Somewhat of a surprise tonight. Bluefield enters the game at 3-3, while Mount View is 2-3. Both teams out of the playoffs. We did not expect that at the beginning of the season.
No, we didn't. From everything that we've read and everything, Bluefield was supposed to have a real strong team this year. They've lost a couple good tough games, and you know, they just came out on the short end of the stick.
Players to watch tonight. First of all, for Bluefield, Stacy Carter. He is very explosive. He is a big play man, while for Mount View, Jerome Ingram, and boy, can he pass the football.
Jerome is a good athlete, probably one of the better athletes on the field. He's thrown for almost 820-some yards, 4 or 5 touchdown passes. One surprising thing, though, that Mount View's only had 100 yards rushing, which could probably give them some trouble tonight.
As far as the keys for Bluefield, what exactly will it be? I guess more than anything, they've got to take Jerome Ingram out of the game.
They've got to get pressure on Jerome. He is a quick kid, and if they don't get pressure on him, they let him sit back in that pocket and throw the football, they could be in for a long night.
Really, if you were to describe tonight's matchup, it's a quarterback duel, because the key really for Mount View, they've got to stop quarterback Stacy Carter of the Beavers.
They sure do. Stacy has gained, like I said, about 800 yards. He's got 7 TDs. He's a quick, explosive kid, and he's a good football player.
The size, it's devastating for Bluefield. They're big up front.
Bluefield's got some monsters up front. Defensively and offensively both. That's going to give Mount View a whole lot of problems, their size.
The stadium here, they call it Mount View Stadium. It's been here since 1952. I've never seen anything like it. It's built right in the heart of the mountains.
It sure is, sitting right in between the valley here. The stand's right on the mountains. It's a pretty place, nice place to play.
Really, it's winter in October tonight. Temperatures in the 30s. We did not expect to see this evening.
No, I don't think it'll be much of a problem over the kids. It's a little bit nippy out here, but they'll take care of that.
What type of game can we expect here, Coach?
I think it's going to be a real good game with the rivalry and everything. These two teams have been playing each other for years, and they go at each other. And I expect a good, hard-fought game tonight.
They will indeed go at each other, and we'll have that opening kickoff for you in just a moment, as the Bluefield Beavers travel here to Welch to meet the Mount View Golden Knights. Back with the opening kickoff in a moment. And welcome back to the high school football game of the week here on WVVA TV. Pat Frizzell with Kevin Grog as we get set to get underway here from Mount View Stadium. The Bluefield Beavers in their away white jerseys, while Mount View will be in the home brown this evening. Mike Shota set to get the kick away for Bluefield, and it's a deep kick. Will be fielded by Anton Byers at the 15, and he's out across the 30 and brought down at the 31. Good field position to start the game for Mount View. Just under 11 minutes to play in the first quarter on our high school game of the week, Mount View and Bluefield. Ingram, he's dangerous. He'll throw the football over the middle, and it's incomplete.
That ball there looked catchable.
Derek Miller is who it was intended for.
Looks like Derek may have twisted an ankle on that play. That may have been the big reason he dropped that one. Jerome Ingram's a fine-looking athlete to me. I'd like to have him on my team.
Yes, indeed. He's got all the ingredients that you look for. Split backfield, and they toss it back to David Patterson, and he falls down. He's going to lose a couple yards, which will bring up a third down and long, about 12, an obvious passing situation it looks like now for Ingram.
Looks like that the back ran into his blocker that time and tripped him up a little bit. If he'd have cut that thing inside, he looks like he could have had some positive yardage.
3rd and 12. Look for Ingram to throw the football, and he will. And he's got his man. It's complete to Garrick Miller. He'll be very close to the first down, but he looks to be about a yard short.
Just a 15-yard out, kind of a basic pass play. Jerome's right on the money again, as he's been all year, it looks like.
Fourth down and 1, and they will gamble and go for it here with the ball resting on the Bluefield 39. 4th and a yard. Handed off inside. There's Byers. He'll have the first down easily. Inside the 35 to the Bluefield 30-yard line, and Mount View on a roll early.
It's great offensive blocking by the offensive line. They got off the ball real well there against Bluefield. That's just straight dive play, and the offensive line of Mount View just whipped them.
First down and 10. They hand it off inside there to Patterson, and he won't get anything. Stacked up by the interior linemen of Bluefield. Again, really, it's pride on the line tonight. Both teams virtually out of the playoff picture. And what does the team hope to accomplish in this situation, Coach?
Well, right now, both of these teams are fighting for every victory they can get. This is just like you said, this is just a pride factor here, this game.
2nd down and 10. Ingram will throw the ball. And it's intercepted, nearly intercepted by Thompson. And a dangerous pass as Charlie Thompson, if he would have picked that one off, it may have been off to the races for 6.
I believe that would have definitely been a touchdown if he could have held on to that one. That was good defense. He read that play all the way.
3rd down and 10 now for Mount View on their first possession. They've driven the ball from their own 30 to the Bluefield 30. And threatening here early in the ball game with 8:30 to play in the first quarter. Pat Frizzell with Kevin Grog on our high school game of the week. Ingram throws the ball. It's incomplete. Intended for Larry Bagley. And that will bring up a 4th down. And Victor Nystrom here, let's see what he decides to do.
Now, he may come back with that same slant pattern he just ran right there, because it seemed to be open. The defensive back did not get up on the receiver. Now he's going to punt.
And back to get the punt away, Jerome Ingram. He does it all back at his 45. Coffin corner kick. It bounces at the 10, and it's ruled out of bounds at the 7-yard line. So an excellent kick by Jerome Ingram as he pins Bluefield back deep in their own territory early in the game.
It's a super punt by Jerome. Super punt. He couldn't have done any better. That's one important thing that Mountain View has to do. They have to keep Bluefield pinned back in their own territory because Bluefield has a great field goal kicker in Mike Shota, and he is definitely a threat if he gets inside the 30-yard line.
Bluefield's first offensive possession. They show the wishbone here on their first play offensively. Stacy Carter, the quarterback, and we've got a flag. 8:18 to play here in the first quarter on our high school football game of the week. The Bluefield Beavers and the Mount View Golden Knights. Now first down and 5 for Bluefield. And Kelly, the first man through, will get a couple. Looks to be about a yard short of the first. An explosive offense by Bluefield. They've got Mike Kelly, Ronnie Scott, and of course Stacy Carter at quarterback, and any one of those guys can break the big play at any moment.
Yes, they're loaded with speed out there. You can tell that. I think that's going to cause Mountain View some problems before the night's over.
Second down and 2, a short 2 now for Stacy Carter and the Beavers. Carter hands it off inside. And Kelly will have the first down by a couple of yards. So Bluefield gradually digging themselves out of a hole here early in the ball game. Now really the series has been dominated, if you take a look at the series record, by Bluefield.
53-6-1. Bluefield's leading the series here with Mount View. Of course, it used to be Welch.
Get out of the wishbone. And there's Thompson. He's loose. Out across the 40. Still going, and it's a foot race to the end zone. He's across the 30, and he will go all the way. Touchdown, Bluefield. Charlie Thompson scampers 80 yards for the touchdown, and Bluefield, just like that, with 6:57 to play in the first quarter, jumps out on top over Mount View. And boy, that Thompson showed a lot of speed on that one.
He sure did. It was just a power play off the right tackle. He got some good blocks from his running backs and sprung him loose. Then he done the rest of it on himself, by himself with his speed.
Mike Shota on to attempt the extra point now for Bluefield. We'll take a look at that spectacular run here on replay in just a moment. And the snap is down, the kick is up, and it is no good. So Shota pulls it off to the right, and he was 9 of 10 on extra points coming into this game, and he misses it. Now 9 of 11 on the season. And we've got a moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at it as Charlie Thompson blazes 80 yards for the touchdown.
Okay, he gets the ball off the right tackle. Some good lead blocks by his back, and there he goes down the field using his speed and over the right side, and it's 80 yards for a touchdown.
Bluefield leading 6-0 on our high school football game of the week here on WVVA TV. Pat Furzel with Kevin Grogg. We're glad you joined us. Mike Shota's kick is away. Will be fielded by Byers inside the 10, and he's out across the 15, the 20, brought down at the 25. So again, Mount View will have very good field position here. And what does that do to a team as far as bursting your bubble early in the ball game, I guess? Victor Nystrom's team, however, they've proven this year to put a lot of points on the scoreboard.
Well, they can score by throwing the football. They're still in this football game. It's still early, and he just needs to keep his kids pumped up. They'll do all right.
Split backs now for Mount View, and it will go against the Golden Knights. They jump off sides, backing them up 5. Now bring up a first down and 15. Mount View trailing at 6-0. They pitch it back to Byers, and he'll be out across the 29. He's out to the 30. Pick up a 5, bringing up a second down and 10. Both coaches tonight graduates of Concord College. Fred Simon graduated from Mountain Lion Territory in 1978, while Victor Nystrom, a 1967 graduate. And there's the fullback up the middle that time is David Patterson, brought down for no gain. The field here, call it the Dust Bowl. As you'll take a look, there is no green grass in the middle of the field. One reason why this field hasn't seen resurfacing in the last 15 years. 1975, the last time on record that they have resurfaced this field, and as you can see by taking a look, it's been through a great deal here in the last 13 years. Ingram throws the ball, and he'll throw outside. It's incomplete, and it was intended for Bobby Joe Ellswick. 5. Ingram's kick is away. It's a high kick, will be fielded by Ronnie Scott at the 36, and he's still going out across the 45 and breaks tackles left and right out to the 50-yard line at the midfield stripe. And Ronnie Scott appeared to be brought down 10 yards ago, but he scampers all the way out to the midfield stripe.
Good run by Mr. Scott. Real good run. Mount View's defense is going to have to stiffen up here. If they give up another quick touchdown, it could be a long night for Mount View.
The Beavers' second possession, leading 6-0 over Mount View. Homecoming 1988 here in Welch, as the Mount View Golden Knights look for their third win of the '88 season. Wishbone offense for Bluefield. They hand it up the middle, and they get about 3 on the play, and that is it. Now Mount View, one thing they're going to have to do is try to get back in this ball game here, but it still is quite early, but you don't want to fall too far behind against an explosive Bluefield offense.
Yeah, that's true. With the speed and the quickness and size that Bluefield has, they can wipe you out real quick.
Kelly, Ronnie Scott, and Thompson, the backs for Bluefield. And Carter fakes inside, options it to Ronnie Scott down the left side, and he's out to the 20-yard line where he is brought down. And boy, he is quick, as Bluefield shows a great deal of good execution on the option to the left side that time. Really, that is the situation that Mount View will have to contend with tonight, is that obviously the triple option there, and getting to Stacy Carter, taking him out of that option attack. First down and 10 for Bluefield here on their second drive, leading Mount View 6-0. They give inside Kelly, and he'll get 4 more inside the 20. Bluefield last week, they jumped out on Beckley early, but they ended up losing that ball game. A good second half surge by the Beckley Flying Eagles, Woodrow Wilson and company, defeated Bluefield on our high school football game of the week last week. Carter keeps it, and he's inside the 15 to the 13. And Bluefield threatening again here.
Right now, Bluefield's offensive line is just manhandling Mount View. Those are just straight dive plays, and they're getting off the ball. I think that Bluefield just has too much size for them.
Speaking of size, they average about 210 pounds on both the offensive and defensive line, and that's one thing that Mountain View, you know, could have problems dealing with throughout the game, is being worn down by a much bigger front line.
And right now, Bluefield's doing the job.
Third down and inches now for Bluefield. Inside the Mountain View 15. Carter hands it off inside. And there's Kelly inside to the 6-yard line. And they will have it first down and goal on the Mountain View 6.
That is a strong kid right there at fullback. He carried a couple of kids about 4 yards there by himself.
Bluefield threatening to get on the board to make it 12-0 here, still in the first quarter. Carter hands off inside to Kelly, brought down at the 3. Now last year it was Bluefield winning the ball game 30-6. And before that, however, it was Mountain View really taking control for a few years.
He beat Mountain View 3 years in a row. I would think that they're going to run that fullback again up the middle. They haven't stopped him yet. They've gave it to him about 4 straight times.
Second and goal out of the wishbone offense. And Carter keeps it himself. Brought down just inches short of the goal line.
He faked it to the fullback, and he tried to roll right off tackle. Carter did to try to get in the end zone.
Bringing up a third down and goal now for the Beavers, who enter tonight's ball game with a record of 3-3. And here's the big play, a third down and 1. Carter, quarterback sneak, touchdown, Bluefield. No surprise as Stacy Carter keeps it himself, pulls his way into the end zone, and Bluefield now leads 12-0 over Mount View. Coming into the game, Carter has some very impressive statistics, as we mentioned in the pregame show.
He's got 7 touchdowns, and he's rushed for 689 yards. He just scored his 8th touchdown of the season. In 5 games, that's a lot of touchdowns for a quarterback to be running anyway.
They will go for the 2-point conversion. They pitch it outside to Scott, and it's good. Ronnie Scott goes into the end zone on the option. They pitch it outside to Scott. He goes in for the 2 points.
That's the trouble when you're trying to defend a quarterback like Carter. You noticed on that option that the outside linebacker and Porter both came up on Carter, and he just pitched the ball outside, and it was an easy 2-point conversion. A team like Bluefield is very hard to defense against.
The score comes with 59 seconds to play in the first quarter. Bluefield leading at 14-0 on our high school game of the week. Pat Frizzell with Kevin Grogg, the head football coach at Mullins High School. Mike Shota on to kick off again for Bluefield. Jerome Ingram, Mike Horton, and Anton Myers, the deep man. And Myers will field it. Got some open room. Out to the 40-yard line, and this is the best field position yet for Mount View.
Great field position by Mount View. They're going to have to get something going now with their offense. They're going to have to try to get some points on the board and get something moving, or they're going to be out of this game quick.
But again, they are a very good passing team, and do not count them out. 2 touchdowns to Mount View is very little when they've got that explosive arm of Jerome Ingram now out of the shotgun. And here comes the Beavers with a good heavy rush. They throw the ball intended for Kenny Spence. Not really close.
No, it wasn't, and he was wide open. Of course, that's the only pass that Jerome has really been off of tonight. So he's done a great job. He did make a mistake there, but I believe that you will see that play again here in a minute.
35 seconds to play in quarter number 1. From Welch, McDowell County, as Victor Nystrom's Golden Knights find themselves in a hole early, trailing 14-0. And Joe Street with a big hit, bringing down Anton Byers.
It's a big kid there from Bluefield.
Joe Street, yes.
He's a good football player. Big, strong kid. I think Mel.
Yeah, Joe Street, 242 pounds, so indeed a big one.
I think Mount View needs to keep the ball in the air.
3rd down and 12. Ingram gets a heavy rush. He scrambles to the left, throws down the left side. He's got his man. Larry Bagley inside the 30, and he's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Mount View.
Just like that, they get right back in the game with a long pass. Great athletic ability by Ingram, scrambling around and finding number 6, Bagley, Larry Bagley. Terrific catch and good run by Bagley after he caught the football.
Bagley very simply took the ball at the 40 and outran the secondary. And again, we mentioned it just moments ago. Talk about explosion. Don't ever count Mount View out, because just like that, they have got back in it, making it 14-6. Kenny Spence set to get the extra point away. They will go for the razzle-dazzle 2-point conversion. Ingram to Spence, and it's good. Jerome Ingram got the snap, stood up with it, and fired to Spence. Good for the 2-point conversion, making it 14-8. Came on the last play of the first quarter. Set to get our second quarter underway on the high school football game of the week. And a deep kick will be fielded by Scott. And he's brought down at the 33. And Coach, let's go ahead and take a look at that last touchdown there, as Larry Bagley picked the ball up and went all the way in for the touchdown. Again, there, as we can see, Jerome Ingram, an excellent quarterback, very capable of finding the open man.
Yes, Jerome just, it was a good defense by Bluefield. They had him flushed out of the pocket, and he just rolled to the left and was going to run the football, and caught Bagley open and just pulled up and hit him with it, and then it was a foot race then.
Again, the wishbone offense, they hand it off inside to Kelly, and he'll get a couple of yards. It's already apparent that we will probably see a rather high-scoring game here tonight with 11 minutes to play in the first half, 14-8, Bluefield leading it.
Well, this is a tough series here for Bluefield after getting scored on. If Mount View can hold them here, they can get right back in the game real quick in their next possession.
And get out of the wishbone, and there's Carter. He options it outside to Thompson, and he's loose out across the 50. Inside Mount View territory to the 42.
Thompson made a fine run there. But, they're still not getting any support from the corner over there on that option. Seems like he's coming down inside and committing himself on the quarterback too quick.
11 minutes again to play here in the first half, with Bluefield leading at 14-8. Out of the wishbone, and a flag goes down. They pitch it back to Scott, and he's brought down for a loss.
Looks like we may have a motion penalty against Bluefield. Looks like one of the backs, and that's exactly what it is. Looks like one of the backs got started a little bit early. That'd be that won't be much of a decision for Mountview, I don't believe. They'll have to decline this penalty.
And another flag goes down. That's going to back Bluefield up, it looks like 5. Let's call it 2nd down and 20. Carter pitches it back to Thompson. He wants to throw the ball, and he does. He's got his man, Scott. He's out across the 30, inside the 20, and he's brought down at the 18 by guess who? Jerome Ingram. And it appeared right from the start that Thompson wanted to throw the ball, and he did, finding Ronnie Scott.
That Scott is a fast young man. Did you see him run? He's quick. That's just what I was talking about before. See, Mountview let Bluefield out of the hole. It's going to be tough to keep him out of the end zone from here.
So 1st down and 10 again for Bluefield. And their white jerseys tonight out of the wishbone. They hand it off inside to Kelly, and he'll get a couple, bringing up a 2nd down situation. Really no surprise that we're seeing both teams moving up and down the field here. Thompson split out to the left, Floyd Ray out to the right. And they will throw the ball to Thompson. They've got him inside the 5, brought down at the 3.
Just threw a little slant pattern across the middle. Trying to get the ball into the hands of one of the better athletes.
Bluefield pretty much moving the football at will, you might say, Coach.
They sure are. I just don't see how anybody stopped them this year. Their offense really impresses me.
Bluefield threatening again with 9 minutes to play in the first half. Out of the wishbone offense. They hand it off inside to Kelly. Touchdown, Bluefield. Mike Kelly goes 3 yards for the touchdown, making it now 20-8 Bluefield.
It's a big offensive line of Bluefield, just blowing them off the ball.
Mike Shota on to attempt the extra point now for Bluefield. He can give them a 21-8 lead. Already 4 touchdowns in this first half. Shota trying to go 10 of 12 on the year. The kick is up, and it is no good. He again pulls it off to the side. Now let's take another look as Mike Kelly goes 3 yards for the touchdown.
Okay, it's just a simple dive off the right guard. Goes into the end zone for a 3-yard touchdown. Great blocking by his offensive line.
2 extra points we've seen missed now by Mike Shota, and how that can come back to haunt a team in the latter stages.
It sure can, and this Shota kid just only missed 1 extra point coming in tonight, and now he's already missed 2, so that could play a big part in tonight's game.
Shota set to get the kick away now for Bluefield. Leading this one 20-8 with 8 minutes to play in the first half. Pat Frizzell with Kevin Grogg, the head football coach of Mullins High School. And boy, Shota drove this one all the way into the end zone. Mountview will start 1st and 10 at the 20. We're again going to see Jerome Ingram, and according to Coach Victor Nystrom, he says he's definitely perhaps one of the best quarterbacks he's ever had here with Mountview.
Coach also says that for a junior, he's probably the best athlete on the team as far as total skills and being able to do things with football that the other kids can't do. He's already showed me tonight. He's between him and Carter, we're seeing two fine quarterbacks for high school kids.
And Ingram out of the shotgun. And look at this razzle-dazzle as they snap the ball back to Byers. And he'll get out to the 30 and appears to have the first down. So instead of going to Ingram, they snap it to Byers. That's the first time I've seen that this year.
It's a good call by Coach Nystrom. They're sitting in the shotgun, and Bluefield's definitely thinking pass, and they snap it to one of the up-backs, and he just takes it over right tackle, and the offensive line had a good hold for him, picking up a good first down, about 11 yards.
Both teams just moving the ball up and down the field. And it, again, should be quite a high-scoring ball game before this one is over. Ingram with a straight drop, scrambles out of it, he's loose. Out across the 40, he'll have the first down to the 47, where he is run out of bounds by Webster Gilbreth.
That's that athletic ability for you again. Fine run by Ingram.
First and 10 again for Mount View. And they hand it off inside to the fullback that time, David Patterson, and another big pickup of 9.
Looks like Mount View may have them a little bit confused up there.
Second down and short now for the Golden Knights, as again they are moving the football. With 7 minutes now to play in the first half. And again, there's Patterson, stopped for no gain. He may lose a half a yard.
Went to the well once too often. I don't know if they can run Bluefield's middle real effective. They've got some big studs there in the middle for Bluefield, and I just don't believe that they can pick up anything up that middle.
On a third down and 3 now for Mount View, trying to keep their drive alive here with the ball on the Bluefield 47. They bring a man in motion. That time is Kenny Spence. The handoff inside to Byers, and he will have the first down easily by 5. To the 39 of Bluefield. You know, having talked to Coach Fred Simon before the ball game, he said that they must, without a doubt, get to the quarterback.
That's exactly one of the big keys of the game, is getting to Ingram. They've gotten to him as far as making him get out of the pocket, but with his speed and his athletic ability, they haven't done much with him, because he just went out and made big plays.
And the Beavers show blitz this time on first down. And there's Patterson again, and he's inside the 30 to the 29, where he will have, it looks like, another Mount View first down.
Looks like to me that Mount View has found them something over on that right side. It's 2 plays in a row they've went off tackle over, and both times been real successful with it.
If you enjoy a lot of points in high school football, you'll want to stick around for this one. It's 20-8 with Bluefield leading it, but we've still got 6 minutes to play in the first half. Look for plenty more points to get on the board here before this one is over. They bring their man in motion. Again, it's Spence. They hand it back to Patterson, and this time he doesn't get anything. They have lost a yard.
It's 3 times in a row they've went over there, and that time that Bluefield was ready and waiting on them. It's good defense. Looks like that Mount View may go to the air here.
Interesting story why they created Mount View. It was once Welch High School.
They changed their name because the enrollment dropped in Welch and Gary and North Fork, and they combined all 3 schools together. And if you've ever been to Mount View, you probably know how it got its name. It sits right on top of a mountain, and it's a terrific view.
They throw the ball, it's incomplete. Intended for Bobby Joe Ellswick. And Thompson and Floyd Ray there to make the play for Bluefield. And there's Ingram, throws the ball down the right side. It's incomplete. And he had Ellswick out down on the right side there, but just couldn't find him, couldn't hook up with him. On a 4th down and 10 on the Bluefield 28, the Golden Knights will go for it. Ingram gets a heavy rush, and he'll throw down the right side, throws it up for grab, it's complete. Ellswick comes up with it, and that should be a first down, and it will. A scoring marathon here in the first half is now Mount View with a first down on the Bluefield 11, threatening to get on the board for their second touchdown. Ingram will take the handoff over to the left and get 3 yards to the Beaver 7. Second down, let's call it 5 now for Mount View with under 4 minutes to play in the first half on our high school game of the week, and a flag goes up in the air.
It's like encroachment on Bluefield. This is a big break for Mount View.
2nd and 1, and it will go against Bluefield with the ball resting on the Beaver 4. The Golden Knights threatening. They bring a man in motion, and they hand it off inside to Byers, and he will get maybe a yard on the play, and that is it. Now, Coach, I don't know if it's my imagination or not, but taking a look at the Bluefield sidelines, they only appear to have brought approximately 30 players tonight. Normally you're used to seeing 40 to 45, and we'll get to that here in just a moment, see if we can get your analysis on that. Ingram goes in for the touchdown. He sneaks his way in with 3:11 to play in the first half.
No surprise there. You're going to keep the football in the hands of your best athlete, and for Mountain View, that's Ingram, and it's no surprise to me that they let him sneak it across. Injury.
And Ingram goes for the 2-point conversion, and they've got it. Hooking up with Kenny Spence, now making it 20-16.
Again, Jerome Ingram, he's Mr. Everything out here so far. This is a great high school quarterback here. We're seeing a great show.
And it does not surprise us at all, the fact that Mount View has come back, because, again, a very explosive passing team. You combine a team with quarterback Jerome Ingram and a good receiving core, and you've got a squad who can put some points on the scoreboard. And Thompson will field it back at the 15. He's loose. Out across the 40, down the right side across midfield. Run out of bounds at the 46 of Mount View.
Yeah, here we go. Bluefield's got excellent field position to start this drive off. The kick coverage broke down a little bit.
Call it a track meet, call it a scoring marathon. No matter what the case, it's 20-16. Bluefield leading this one, and the Beavers again with excellent field position and a chance to get some more points on the board here before the end of the first half. And they come out of the wishbone offense again for Stacy Carter at quarterback and the rest of the Beavers. Carter keeps it to the Mount View 42. Something Mount View really needs to do here is stop Bluefield and pick up a little bit of momentum. Something that they have been unable to do in the first half is really shut down that Bluefield offensive attack.
No, they haven't really shut them down at all. Of course, neither team shut either team down as of right now. Mount View, this is an important drive right here before halftime with only 2.5 minutes left. They've got to stiffen up right here and keep them out of the end zone before half.
Now 2nd down and 7. Carter runs the option, and he's inside the 40 to the 35. Looks to have the first down. And we, of course, talked to Coach Victor Nystrom before the game and brought up some very interesting points on how to really slow down the Bluefield offense. And he has seen Bluefield on our high school football game of the week, I'm sure, and he's seen that you really got to get to Carter, take him out of the game, as we keep continuing to mention.
Yes, Carter's a big play person. gets out on the corner on that option, and he can go with it.
Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Carter throws it down the left side, and it nearly got Thompson. Nearly a great catch that time as Charlie Thompson reached for it at the 7-yard line, but couldn't come up with it. This, without a doubt, thus far has been the highest scoring game of the week here on WVVA TV, with Bluefield leading at 20-16 over Mount View with 1:50 to play in the first half. And they hand it off inside to Kelly. He spins for 4 yards. We've got a flag down in the Bluefield backfield, perhaps legal procedure.
It's like a motion penalty. Bluefield ran they were 1 short. They ran it back on the field. I don't know if that's the reason they threw the penalty or if somebody else jumped.
Following the penalty, bringing up a 2nd down and 15. Carter will try to throw the ball, and he'll be sacked. Back at the midfield stripe.
Great defensive play.
Dandrick Brown came in to sack Stacy Carter, and that is one of the toughest jobs in high school football, trying to bring number 14 down.
That was a big play right there. Big play for this half.
3rd down and a mile now following the sack. 3rd and 24. And let's see what Bluefield has up their sleeve here with just 1 minute, 15 seconds to play in the half. They throw it out to Thompson, and he's inside the Mount View 35. He fumbles the football. It's loose, and the Golden Knights have recovered.
That was one heck of a stick there. He got stuck, and I didn't catch the number it hit him. It looked like it may have been number 61, Brown. He laid a shot on him to shake that ball loose.
Don't look on him to sit on it here. And they give it off to Patterson, and he's out across the 36, and he bulls his way for 5 yards. Again, it's pretty much pride on the line tonight. Both teams out of the playoff picture in Southern West Virginia. Really somewhat of a surprise. We expected both teams to be contending for a playoff spot at this point in the season, but not the case. High school football, indeed, unpredictable. And Ingram will throw the ball. He'll try to at least, and scrambles out of it. Goes down the right side, throws it up for grabs, and let's see what we've got. The official says out of bounds. And this time, Ingram will just go down on one knee, and that should end the first half as it reads 5 seconds, and that'll do it. Half number 1 is in the books as Bluefield leads Mount View 20-16. Back with our halftime show and get some insight from Kevin Grogg on the first half action, with Bluefield leading it 20-16. Back with the halftime show in a moment. Halftime in Welch, where the Mount View Golden Knights trail the Bluefield Beavers 20-16. And Coach Grogg, it looked early in the ball game like Bluefield was going to pretty much do what they wanted to. They led 14-0, but you got to give Victor Nystrom and company a lot of credit. They came right back.
Sure do. Vic had his team ready. They got down 14-0. They didn't give up. And with Jerome Ingram throwing the football, and with a team that can throw the football like Mount View, they're never out of it.
Really, it's a track meet thus far in the first half. Both teams pretty much moving the ball at will.
That's true. Neither defense is really doing much out there. You know, they're just moving the ball up and down the field, and I look for the second half to be about the same way.
Could it be a case of who gets the ball last will win the game?
I believe it may. Maybe a turnover here, a turnover there, or something like that. I believe that whoever has the football last may win this, baby.
Again, homecoming 1988 here in Welch at Mount View High School, and we talked about in the pregame show a little bit of incentive, and we saw that spurt there where Mount View came and they realized, well, perhaps there's a lot of alumni up here in the stands, and we want to come out and prove that we've got a lot of guts and a lot of heart.
Right, the crowd got behind Mount View there when they got the football, and then the one big play there put them right back in the game and really inspired the kids a whole lot.
I guess you'd call this the Dust Bowl out here.
The Dust Bowl, right. There's not much grass in the middle of that football field.
Coach, you elaborated on it, of course not on camera, but I want to put you on the spot here. You mentioned the fact that if you had a guy like Stacy Carter at quarterback for Bluefield, or quarterback of Jerome Ingram's caliber for Mount View, that your team at Mullins High School could perhaps be undefeated at this time.
Well, that's true. I'm not taking anything away from my quarterback. You know, I'm not doing that, but the thing about it is these two kids are the two best quarterbacks that I've seen this year. And you take a kid like that and put him on a team like ours playing single-A football, it'd be awesome. Nobody could stop them.
An awesome display of offense in the first half. What can we expect to see in the second half? We see it from time to time where both teams will come out flat, but don't look for that to happen in the second half. They've shown a lot of explosion offensively.
Right. I don't look for neither one of these teams come out flat. I believe that there are going to be at least 5 more touchdowns put on the board this half.
Could it be 45-40, that kind of game? It's looking to be that way.
It looks to be that way, unless that both teams do some things defensively that they didn't do the first half. I just don't believe that neither defense will stop the other offense.
What do you think of this job as a play-by-play man, a color analyst thus far?
Well, I like it. It's a lot of fun.
Again, we are at halftime here from Welch with the Mount View Golden Knights here at Homecoming 1988. Trail the Bluefield Beavers 20-16. It will be a high-scoring affair in this second half. You can bet it. Bluefield leads it 20-16. Back with the second half action in a moment. Kevin Grogg on our high school game of the week, set to get the second half underway here from Welch, as the Mount View Golden Knights will kick off here to start our second half. And back deep for Bluefield, Charlie Thompson and Ronnie Scott. Thompson will field it at the 18 and out to the 24 where he is dragged down. So Bluefield will start back inside their 30 on their first drive here of the second half. Now, out of the wishbone again for the Bluefield Beavers in the white uniforms tonight. Mount View in the brown. And they give it there to Ronnie Scott, picking up a couple of yards. Now, a lot of teams around southern West Virginia, as we've gone past the halfway point, do have a chance legitimately of making the playoffs. Who is the team to beat this year and why, first of all, in the AAA class?
AAA, I think right now could be different 3 or 4 teams. Charleston High, George Washington, Greenbrier East has a fine ball club. You know, any of those teams there could win a state championship.
5-man defensive front for Mount View. No gain on the play.
They have a great ball club.
Carter throws the football. He's got Thompson, but he's going to be 3 yards short of the first down. Bringing on Mike Shota, it would appear, on a 4th down situation.
Coach has a decision to make here. Looks like he's going to punt the football.
And we apologize, folks. We've had some, again, technical problems with 29 seconds to play in the third quarter. It's now Mount View leading Bluefield 22-20. So the Golden Knights have taken their first lead of the ball game. We apologize. We will not be able to show the touchdown to you. However, again, Mount View leading at 22-20. And, Coach, your insight on Mount View's ability to come back and take the lead.
Well, they're taking it to Bluefield right now on defense. Their defense is winning this game for them.
Mount View and Brown on their own 11-yard line. Ingram throws the ball, and it is incomplete, intended for Larry Bagley, who already has 1 touchdown to his name tonight. A long bomb from Ingram to Bagley. With 3 seconds now to play in the third quarter, Mount View again leading at 22-20 over Bluefield. Pat Frizzell with Kevin Grogg on our high school game of the week. This should be the final play of the third quarter. Ingram will throw it, and we've got a flag down. It's complete out to Kenny Spence. And he'll still be about 3 yards short of the first down.
We've got a flag down. Looks like it might be holding against Mount View.
Tackle on the play by Ronnie Scott. Penalties against the Knights, holding.
And that will be the final play of the third quarter as Mount View clinging on to a 2-point lead over Bluefield. Back with a final quarter of play. It should be a dandy as Mount View leads Bluefield 22-20.
Don't go away. High school football game of the week will be right back.
Back to the high school football game of the week here on WVVA TV. The first play of the fourth quarter on a 3rd down and 20. They pitch the ball back to Mike Horton, and he's going to get little, if anything. So now Bluefield will get very good field position here, trailing 22-20. Mount View forced to punt the ball out of their own end zone, and this is a dangerous situation now for the Golden Knights.
The coach from Bluefield, Mr. Simon's got a decision here to make whether to go after the punt or go for the return. He's going to get the ball in good field position, but if they block this punt, they could either tie the game up or go ahead with a touchdown.
High snap, and the ball will bounce at the 34. It takes a Mount View bounce. Floyd Ray just decides to let this one roll, and Mount View will down it that time as Bobby Ellswick puts it down successfully.
Yeah, they made some good adjustments on defense, and it seemed to be working out.
Out of the I formation this time now for Bluefield. They've got 2 receivers split out to the right. And there's the option to Scott. Gets to the outside, and he'll get to the 41-yard line, pick up a 5, bringing up a 2nd down. Seesaw battle. Both teams, again, pretty much scoring at will in the first half, and here in the second half, it's been a little bit more of a defensive struggle. However, it's Mount View who has the lone touchdown here in half number 2, but there's Scotty, goes blazing over the middle inside the 30 to the 27. And that is why they are so explosive. At any time, no matter if it's Thompson, Scott, they can kill you on any particular play and break the big one.
Ronnie Scott has tremendous speed. He was in the secondary of Mount View's before they really even seen him coming. He was already on the defensive back before they knew it.
Under 10 minutes to play in the game. Bluefield trying to take the lead once again, trailing at 22-20. And they give it to Thompson, and he struggles inside the 30 to the 26. 9 minutes now to play in the game. The clock's still rolling. Full house backfield. And Carter will throw it, and he's going to be sacked back at the 38-yard line. Dandrick Brown came storming in to get to Carter and simply came in on his blind side and brought him down. And that's not easy to get to Carter, that's for sure, especially with his scrambling ability.
No, it's not. That was a good defensive play there. I think I may have kept the ball on the ground there. They were chewing up some good yardage on the ground.
And a would-be 2nd down and short of 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 13. See if Carter decides to throw the football here. He will throw the football. Again, gets a heavy rush, throws the ball over the middle, and it's just overthrown. Intended for Floyd Ray, and they had him down at the 3-yard line, but they just couldn't find him. And if he would have hooked up with him, that would have been 6. Bluefield has decided to gamble, and they will go for it. With the ball resting on the Mount View 31 on a 4th down and 13. Carter, straight drop, throws it over the middle. It's complete to Scott, but he's not going anywhere. As the Mount View defense rises to the occasion and stops Bluefield on a 4th down situation, and the Golden Knights have held, and they will take over. There's 3 now to play in the ball game, and don't count certainly Bluefield out by any means. We're only trailing by 2. They're going to be right in this same to the very end of the ball game. penalty. Bluefield will now have that Mount View backed up on a 1st and 15. They fumble the football, and Bluefield has recovered at the 21 of Mount View, and that could be the break of the ball game. At least it is thus far for Bluefield. Still no sign by the official, and there it is. Bluefield recovers the ball at the Mount View 21-yard line. 1st down and 10 on the Golden Knights 21 with 7:20 to play in the game. Beavers out of the wishbone, and there's Scott inside the 20 to the 17. A pickup of 5. A chilly night for football here in Welch. Temperature about 35 degrees. And they fumble the football. It looks like Carter has gotten back on it, though. And a big break for Bluefield as they maintain possession. A little bit of a mix-up there in the backfield. It looked like an exchange play there with Mike Kelly. And simply could make a clean exchange, but yet Bluefield has recovered. Out of the wishbone, and there they give to Kelly again, and on a 3rd down and 5, he'll appear to be stopped 2 yards short of the 1st down, and again it's decision time for Fred Simon, trailing by 2 points, and again they've got a good field goal kicker in Mike Shota. Out of the wishbone, and this again could be the play of the game. On 4th down, Carter hands it off to Scott. He's inside the 5. Brought down inside the 5 all the way to the 1, and Bluefield with an excellent opportunity here to take the lead with 5:45 to play in the game. 1st down and goal. And a flag goes down.
It's like encroachment on the defense.
And they'll move it half the distance to the goal line. And that's exactly what we have. Coach Grog, of course, you being an official here in southern West Virginia, explain any changes that we've seen this year in the officiating crews. Is there anything you all have tightened up on in particular?
Well, one thing that they've really loosened up on is holding. The rules have changed on the offensive line blocking, and then let you use your hands a little bit more, and you don't see holding called as much now.
On the 1st down and goal, touchdown Bluefield. A late call by the official with 5:06 now to play in the ball game, and Bluefield has taken a 26-22 lead over Mount View. We talked about it at halftime. It could be a case of who gets the ball last, and that is what we are seeing here in the 2nd half. Both teams not moving the ball nearly as well as they did in the 1st half. However, they are still continuing to grind it out, especially here in the 4th quarter. The Beavers will go for the 2-point conversion. Nothing to lose in this situation. Leading now by 4. And there's Kelly inside, and they will have the 2-point conversion. Now Bluefield leads it 28-22. We've got a moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at it as Bluefield comes right back to take the lead.
Okay, the only thing he done was come off the right side on the 2nd man out of the wishbone on a 3-yard run or 2-yard run. Great line blocking. Got the kid in the end zone.
Score comes with 5:06 to play in the ball game. They've got Ingram and Byers, and Ingram will take it at the 3. Nearly slips down with it to the 10. Tries to bring it around the right side, and he's
going. He's going.
Jerome Ingram is out across midfield. He may go, but he's going to be brought down at the 27-yard line of Bluefield. And a touchdown saving tackle by the Beavers, and if it were not for that, then Jerome Ingram may have gone all the way for a touchdown. 4 minutes, 50 seconds now to play in the game. And they hand it off there to Byers. Inside the 30 to the 28.
It's like we have a new quarterback. Ingram's down on the sidelines over there after the long run.
Ingram shaken up just a little bit on the play, and they're working on him there on the near sideline. He appears to be okay, and that's certainly good news for Mountview in the closing moments of the game here with 4:25 to play in the game. It's Bluefield 28, Mountview 22. It's going right down to the final tick. They'll pitch it back there to Byers, and he's inside the 20. Brought down at the 16-yard line. And Mountview has shown a lot of guts coming right back in this ball game. Split backfield for the Golden Knights. They hand it off inside there to Horton, just short, about a yard of the goal line. First down and goal now for Mountview, threatening to take the lead again. There's Ingram. Touchdown, Mountview.
Quarterback sneak. One important statistic about Jerome Ingram, he's just a junior. He's going to drive people crazy again next year.
Jerome Ingram, calling the kid on the block, whatever you'd like to, but he has come out tonight and shown why he is one of the top quarterbacks around southern West Virginia. Score coming with 2:17 to play in the game, and the Golden Knights will go for two. Ingram will fake inside, throw it into the end zone, and the two-point conversion is no good. And hello, 28-28 with 2:17 to play. We're deadlocked at 28 with just over 2 minutes to play in the game. And the ball will be fielded by Scott. Tries to find some room up the middle, but he's not going to get much at all. Brought down at the 31. Now Stacy Carter will come onto the field and get one more chance to drive the length of the field, put his team ahead, and come away with a victory here, because it's a case of, as we mentioned at halftime, is whoever would get the ball last would perhaps win this game, and that's what we've seen.
Well, Bluefield's really at a disadvantage here because they're basically a running football team, and they don't have really enough time to run the ball down the field and score. They're going to have to put the ball in the air. Unless they break the big one, which we've seen 2 or 3 times tonight. And Scott has hit immediately, a fumble on the play. And again, big break time for the Beavers as they pounce on it. The clock still rolling with 1:40 to play. Because anything can happen in overtime. Out of the I formation, the first man through. And that's Kelly. And he'll apparently have the first down. The official will call for a measurement here, it looks like. 1 minute to play in the ball game. On a 3rd down and 1 now for Bluefield. Carter keeps it himself. Fumble. The football. Mountainview's got it. Has recovered. They recover on the Bluefield 42-yard line. Now, how times have changed for Mountview, as they were in a situation of just trying to stop Bluefield and get the ball back. However, Carter fumbles it, and Mountview will have a chance here to win the ball game. Mountview has plenty of time to get the ball down. Ingram out of the shotgun. And plenty of time to throw the ball, and tries to scramble out of it, but Joe Street is there to make the play for the Beavers. The clock rolling with 35 seconds to play. Mountview calls timeout. 2nd down and 11 now for Mountview with 34 seconds to play. Ingram gets a heated rush once again. He tries to throw it. The ball is knocked away, but Mountview has jumped on it, but they'll lose 7 yards. Now they say, looks like for a moment the official was saying Bluefield football, but he was signaling Mountview timeout. 25 seconds to play on a 3rd down and 18. The drive of the game. Ingram runs it deep over the middle. It's overthrown, intended for Bobby Joe Ellsworth at the 5. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 18, and this could be the final offensive play of regulation. To see who gets the football first. Ingram's kick is away, and a good kick
rolls to the 12-yard line with 9 seconds to play. And that is the end of regulation as Bluefield decides to let it run out. They're not going to gamble this time. And the first time we've seen it on the high school football game of the week, we've got overtime. We are in overtime, and Mountview will have the ball first on the Bluefield 10. And again, they've got 4 plays to move it into the end zone. The team who scores first, if it may be Mountview, then they will force Bluefield to do the same. Ingram out of the shotgun on the first play of OT. However, they'll fake it. They fumble the football, and Bluefield has pounced on it on the first play of overtime. They snapped it to Mike Horton, and that's simply a situation where you get a guy who's not used to taking a snap, and he fumbles it. Wishbone offense. And they'll pitch it outside to Scott. It's a foot race to the end zone. Touchdown. The Beavers have won the football game. 34-28 over Mountview on one of the most thrilling games ever on the high school football game of the week. It's decided in overtime. Mountview falls to Bluefield 34-28, and that is the ball game. In just a moment, we'll have the winning coach of Bluefield, Fred Simon, and get his insight on his team's overtime win over Mountview here on the road. 34-28 the final. Back with Coach Simon in a moment.
Don't go away. High school football game of the week will be right back.
Game of the week, it's all over. Bluefield impressively comes back in the second half there. It looked like they may have been out of the game, but they came right back there to win it 34-28 over Mountview. With us now, the winning coach of the Bluefield Beavers, Fred Simon. And Coach, I guess you were doing the foxtrot there, huh? Just before the overtime, you had this fox. Believe it or not, folks, the fox came running out onto the field. What were you thinking at that time?
It looked like a beaver, in a way.
It looked like a beaver?
That's what I was thinking. I tell you, it was nice.
How does it feel, Coach? You know, you win a game in overtime like this in dramatic fashion. I guess at one point you may have thought your team wasn't going to come back there because Mountview came back and they got that momentum they needed there in the second half.
Well, I felt different tonight. Our kids, for some reason, just kept playing hard tonight, and I felt like they were going to play hard the whole game, and they did. I mean, our kids tonight, my hats go off to them. I'm proud of them. They really just played with some intensity, and they just gave it everything they had the whole game tonight.
Coach Grog, what was your insight there on that second half? We talked about it at halftime. We thought it would be the team who got the ball last, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, that's exactly what happened. What I'd like to ask Coach is, what do you think about Mountainview's, what did they do to you the second half on defense to stop you? It looked like the first half that you really done what you wanted to them on offense. You know, you're getting 5 and 6 yards a clip. And what did they do to shut you down?
I think their outside linebackers did a better job of reading the option. They took our outside game away a little bit and did a real good job. And they're a tough defensive ball club. You know, they always are.
What do you feel the turning point was in the game? Did you think it would come down to this, a situation whoever got the ball last would win it?
Well, I felt like probably the turning point was when we stopped them from getting the extra point right down there, and we knew if we didn't make too many mistakes right there, didn't make any, that we would go into overtime, and we felt fairly good that we could get them in overtime. We felt like we hopefully could get them, and it worked out really good for us.
Coach, let's turn the table just a little bit. Now, you improved to 4-3. We were talking about the pressures of being a high school football coach, and we understand at 4-3 at Bluefield, you may have received a little pressure from the community. Give us your output on that and your insight on some community and perhaps some pressures that they have put on you, because Coach Grog has stated that that's not uncommon at the high school football level. You'll start to feel the heat during the season.
Well, I feel like any community that has pride like Bluefield does wants your football team to win, and we've just got a great community. I mean, you know, there hasn't been really any pressure or anything like that. I just think our community likes to win, and hey, I do too. And you know, if I was in anybody not winning, I'd be mad too a little bit. So we've just got great people there. I don't have anything against that. I think, you know, you got to win, and I think that's what it's all about, is getting after people and trying to get a good program up there. And you know, we've had I think an injury to Joe Street hurt us a little bit, and we've had some, things not go our way occasionally. And if it was a little different situation, I think we would be a different ball club right now. But I think we finally got it together a little bit, and I don't know how we're going to play the remainder of the year, but I know this: our kids played a real good football game tonight.
Let's turn to next week with Princeton. Anytime you mention Princeton, you're talking the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Redskins of high school football, because it's a battle. Any team can win it.
Well, I think they're a good football team. They've got big people up front. They've got a good fullback and a good sophomore quarterback, and we'll have to tie it on and get ready for them.
Your thoughts, Coach, on the rivalry of, I guess it's like, you being from Mullins High School, Pineville versus Mullins, a great rivalry.
Right, it's the same thing. When Princeton and Bluefield go at it, I know that usually it doesn't matter if one team's a whole lot better than the other. It's going to be a good game, and it'll be a tough game.
Coach, what does this win do for you now, coming into next week's game with Princeton?
Well, I think any time you win, it gives you a little momentum, and our kids needed it, and they worked for it, and we got it. We got it tonight. I thought it was an exciting game to be part of, and it's just great to come up the winner. And I'm going to tell you something, my hat's off to Mountain View. They played a great game. The Ingram kid is I'm talking about super quarterback. He does a lot of things well, and you saw when we had him down in the hole, what's he do? But we're going to turn that daggone kickoff back and almost score. And, that's the mark of a good athlete, and our kids rose to the occasion, did a real good job, and my hat's off to them, and that's just good to come out with a victory like that tonight.
One final question. What did you tell the boys before the overtime there? What do you tell them? Is it a situation where you tell them, this is it, guys, we just got to go out and win this ball game? What did you tell them right before the overtime?
Well, that's basically what they know what they have to do, and they did it. They got it done, and that's all I can say. And it's a good feeling right now. I mean, to play a game like this and, go back and forth like it did, everybody got their money's worth, and it's just good to come out on the top of a game like this. It really is.
Coach Grogg, your final comments on this game tonight?
It was a super football game, just like Coach said. This was great. People got their money's worth tonight with this game.
I understand he yells at you when you're out officiating. Is that true?
Once or twice.
When I pat him on the back, he does a great job out there.
Coach, was this indeed the high school football game of the week tonight?
Well, it may have been this week. I feel like it was a really good football game, and I tell you, I've told you probably 100 times already, I'm proud to come up on top of this one. It was a good one to win.
I would say if it was any better, let's hear about it. 34-28 in overtime. Again, speaking for Coach Grogg, certainly have a pleasure having you on the high school game of the week.
I appreciate it, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
And the winning coach, Fred Simon.
Thank you a lot, Pat.
And again, our final score tonight from Mount View in Welch, McDowell County. It's the Bluefield Beavers in dramatic fashion, defeating the Mount View Golden Knights 34-28 in overtime. Next week, the Battle of Mercer County. You're not going to want to miss it, as Princeton meets Bluefield. So long from McDowell County.
This has been the High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you in part by Ramey Chevrolet, steering you straight. By Hardee's Restaurants, where we're out to win you over. And by Mullins Ford, your four-wheel drive headquarters in Richlands, Virginia. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next week when the Bluefield